Noah's Ark is one of the most enduring tales in human history, a testament to faith and survival. It's a narrative that has captured imaginations for millennia. But did this epic flood actually happen? And if so, where did the mighty Ark, the vessel that saved both man and beast, come to rest? The search for Noah's Ark isn't a recent phenomenon. Legends of explorers seeking its remains stretch back centuries. Ancient scholars and kings, fueled by religious fervor, claim to have discovered pieces of the Ark, relics that become intertwined with folklore and tradition. Some even pinpointed its resting place on the slopes of mountain ranges across the ancient world. But was the Ark real? Was its final destination Armenia, as Josephus, an influential first-century historian, believed? Or did it come aground somewhere else entirely? Could modern technology and a thirst for the truth finally uncover the secrets of Noah's Ark? As the centuries passed, the search for Noah's Ark remained an intriguing quest, fueled by both faith and a thirst for historical truth. The Middle Ages and the centuries that followed saw explorers and scholars drawn to the mountainous regions of the ancient world, determined to unravel this enduring mystery. Mount Ararat, nestled in what is now modern-day Turkey, held particular significance. Ancient texts, including the Quran, described the Ark coming to rest on a peak known as Al-Judi, a location believed to correspond with Mount Judi. This majestic, often snow-capped mountain became inextricably linked with the biblical tale. Stories persisted. Some whispered of fragments of the Ark found on Mount Ararat's slopes, while others doubted whether it survived the ravages of time. Intriguingly, legends spoke of a taboo against climbing the mountain, perhaps stemming from the angel's ancient admonition to Jacob of Nisibis. Was this a clue to the Ark's whereabouts or a cultural barrier impeding discovery? Travelers, undeterred, continued to seek answers. Sir Walter Raleigh, the renowned explorer, even challenged the notion that the Ark must have landed in Armenia. He broadened the potential resting sites, believing the vast mountain ranges of Asia offered alternative possibilities that fit with the biblical narrative of Noah's descendants migrating from the east. The 19th century brought renewed interest. Friedrich Perrot, in 1829, led the first recorded ascent of the formidable Mount Ararat, encountering deep-rooted Armenian beliefs that the Ark still lay hidden upon its treacherous peak. A sense of awe permeated the expedition. After all, this was believed to be a place no human should tread. James Bryce, a man of many talents, scaled Ararat in 1876. His ascent yielded a tantalizing find: a piece of wood, seemingly cut by a tool, located far above the tree line. Could this be an impossibly preserved fragment of the legendary Ark? Bryce couldn't resist the allure, keeping a portion of the wood as a relic. Though other explanations surfaced in his mind, the desire to believe in the Ark's discovery proved a potent temptation. Then, in 1883, an April Fool's Day prank sent shockwaves through the world of Ark hunters. George McCullough Reed, cleverly disguised as a newspaper correspondent, fabricated a sensational story. An avalanche on Ararat had revealed the Ark. His detailed tale, filled with fabricated experts and reports, was a masterclass in deception that captured imaginations worldwide. Though exposed as a hoax, Reed's wild tale of an Ark discovered and sought after by eager American showmen became a legend in its own right, finding its way into publications that mistook fiction for fact. It served as a stark reminder that the desire to find the Ark could sometimes outpace reason. Amidst the hoaxes and tantalizing discoveries, a charismatic figure emerged: John Joseph Nuri. This self-proclaimed archdeacon of the Chaldean Catholic Church claimed a spectacular discovery. He found Noah's Ark on Ararat's summit in 1887. Nuri's elaborate titles and confident claims propelled him into the spotlight, yet his story was controversial. Questions about his mental health, fueled by an unsettling asylum incident, cast doubt on his extraordinary claims. Despite the whispers of doubt, Nuri presented himself as a learned explorer, a man who captivated audiences worldwide. His account captivated those eager for proof of the biblical narrative, even attracting him an invitation to the Parliament of the World's Religions in 1893. Yet, despite his charismatic appeal, his claims of finding the Ark needed more official corroboration, leaving his place in Ark hunting history a mix of notoriety and ambiguity. The search for Noah's Ark took a high-profile turn when James Irwin, Apollo 15 astronaut and the 8th man to walk on the moon, joined the quest. Driven by a profound religious experience during his historic mission, Irwin founded the High Flight Foundation, dedicating himself to evangelical work and a renewed determination to locate this legendary vessel. Despite Turkey's stringent restrictions and the forbidding terrain of Mount Ararat, Irwin's status as a global celebrity gave him unique access. In 1982, he finally secured a permit and embarked on a momentous expedition. However, fate intervened cruelly. During his climb, Irwin mysteriously fell, sustaining serious injuries and leaving him with only hazy memories of the incident. This harrowing experience marked the first setback in his relentless pursuit of the Ark. Undeterred, Irwin returned to Ararat a mere month later, disregarding his precarious health. He was driven by an intriguing tip about an object spotted high on the mountain. Yet, without proper gear for such a daunting climb, the mission sputtered to a halt, further fueling concerns about Irwin's mental and physical well-being after his near-fatal accident. A year later, in August 1983, Irwin partnered with other experienced explorers for a new expedition. This ambitious venture brought together a diverse group, including his own family. A glimmer of hope flickered when a Turkish guide reported seeing wood where glacial melt had occurred. But as the team battled harsh weather, they were ultimately forced to turn back. Even amidst these disappointments, Irwin conceded that the Ark itself might have succumbed to the ravages of time centuries ago. The following year, in 1984, Irwin made another attempt but found nothing but abandoned skis where the possible sighting of the Ark had been reported. In the summer of 1985, regional dangers escalated. Kurdish rebels were known to target climbers, and heightened tensions with the Soviet Union made navigating Turkish bureaucracy a nightmare. Despite facing a heavily armed military escort and agonizing delays, Irwin pressed on, hoping to reach Ararat's unforgiving summit. But once again, circumstances conspired against him, and his exhausted team was ordered to retreat just as victory seemed within reach. Irwin's determination seemed to waver in 1986. Heart problems put his life in jeopardy, and his doctors forbade him from high-altitude expeditions. Still, he couldn't fully abandon the dream of finding the Ark. After a brief reprieve, he rallied for one final attempt, only to be detained by Turkish authorities under suspicion of espionage. The very frame that opened doors now seemed to work against him, as his presence attracted undue attention and made the search infinitely more complex. Finally, in 1987, a heat wave revived hopes that the receding snowline might reveal the Ark. Irwin, in a collaborative effort with other groups keen to discover biblical artifacts, planned a multi-pronged mission. Yet, bureaucracy proved an insurmountable obstacle. Permits for Ararat were abruptly revoked, limiting the expedition to an aerial survey that, while useful, paled in comparison to the ground search Irwin so desperately desired. This setback was a heavy blow. Irwin's doctors ordered him to cease his dangerous quest for the Ark, his health taking priority. Though he remained a firm believer in the vessel's historical existence, the man who once walked on the moon found his relentless search grounded, leaving the tantalizing mystery of Noah's Ark, for the time being, unsolved. As the 21st century dawned, the quest for Noah's Ark continued with renewed vigor and a focus on technology. Enter Daniel McGivern, a businessman with a keen interest in the biblical narrative. In 2003, his eyes were drawn to satellite images of Mount Ararat, where melting snow revealed an intriguing anomaly, a dark patch with a striking resemblance to beams. Could this be the long-lost Ark? Armed with high-resolution images and unwavering belief, McGivern teamed up with Turkish mountaineer Ahmed Ali Arslan, known for his earlier claims of photographing the Ark, to launch an expedition in July of 2004. But the trail to discovery was fraught with obstacles. Obtaining approval from the Turkish government proved an insurmountable hurdle, forcing McGivern to spend months in fruitless negotiations. Critics questioned both the timing of his announcement, made prematurely before securing permits, and the credibility of his chosen partner. Undeterred, McGivern persisted, claiming to have funded further, smaller expeditions. Though he eventually walked away from the project, the burning quest of the mysterious anomaly lingered. Had he stumbled upon a tantalizing piece of the puzzle, or was it merely a trick of nature? Meanwhile, Bob Cornuke, initially skeptical of Ararat as the Ark's resting place, shifted focus in 1998. Re-examining an old account by Ed Davis and guided by a new interpretation of biblical passages, Cornuke came to believe that the Ark might lie east of Shinar, a vast territory that included large portions of modern-day Iran. This led him to Mount Takht-e-Suleiman, a towering peak in the Al-Borz Mountains. In 2006, Cornuke's Base Institute made a startling announcement: a discovery of a large petrified wood-like object at a dizzying height of 13,000 feet. The object's size mirrored estimates for the Ark, fueling speculation and igniting media interest. Yet the claim was met with skepticism. The lack of peer review and the absence of professional geologists cast doubt on the object's identity. Critics also challenged Cornuke's interpretation of Scripture, pointing out that the Bible doesn't specify a direct migration from Ararat to Shinar. This, they argued, could imply that Noah's descendants might have settled elsewhere before reaching Shinar, placing the potential resting place of the Ark far from Iran. Despite initial enthusiasm, Cornuke's efforts ultimately faltered. Discouraged by the lack of support for his findings, he abandoned the search for the Ark in 2010. His quest, though yielding hints of promise, left the mystery of the Ark as tantalizingly unsolved as ever, with questions swirling about unexplored mountain ranges and unanalyzed anomalies. The mystery of Noah's Ark remains a captivating tale that has inspired centuries of exploration and speculation. If these stories have intrigued you, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from the latest discoveries and theories surrounding this legendary vessel. And leave your thoughts in the comments. Where do you think the Ark might be hidden?